Hi, this is a Punk with Toys, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Wave 6. Now, like I said in a previous video, I've been sitting on a whole bunch of stuff. I've actually been sitting on Wave 7. I've had them moving for quite some time, but I decided that I was going to wait until Wave 6 came. And unfortunately, that took way longer than I would have thought. Who knows what's going on. But I did receive these from Big Bad Toys, along with a lot of the other stuff that I've gotten, Wave 7, which I got actually at Target. So those I've actually seen around a bunch of times. I have not seen these. So anyway, Wave 6 is the Eternian Goddess, Beastman, Lords of Power, Webster, and Stinkor. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to review all of them. We'll take a look at all of them, all in one video. So we'll start with the Eternian Goddess. So that is the box for it, Eternian Goddess. On the back, you can see she's standing with He-Man, and you can probably clearly see she looks like Teela, and there's Skeletor, and there's one. There it is. It gives you what the wave is and what figures are on it. So I do not know much about the Eternian Goddess, but I was watching a video a while back where they did say she is part of the lore, and she's actually not supposed to be Teela, even though she is a repaint of Teela. She is her own character. I think back in the comic they said. So she is painted green, the exact same. There's no difference. Matter of fact, there's actually no change in her staff, from what I can tell, or her headdress. So you look at them, I don't believe there's any change in the color, so they're just grabbing her weapons off the shelves and throwing them in the bag here. But everything is the same. Obviously the color scheme is different, but I don't see anything different. But she is a nice looking figure. It's a nice subtle green, and I do like that this is a character that's supposed to be in Castle Grayskull. So if you have Castle Grayskull, you're starting to kind of end up with a bunch of different figures that you can use inside your play set to make different dioramas and different things like that. All right. The next one we're going to take a look at is Beastman. And now Beastman here is the Lord of Power. So the Lord of Power, I know I talked about it before. I believe it was a different, the Lord of Power was one of the other comics, I believe, or the cartoon. So he does look different. So here's how it looks. Not too much different if I remember correctly. But on the back here, you have what Beastman looks. And this Beastman looks nothing like the Beastman that we grew up with or the original Origins. And you see him fighting He-Man. And there it is once again, all the figures. So, here is your Beastman. And he is way different. Now, I can't say way different because the body for the most part is the same as the normal release Origins Beastman. I'll show you right here. Okay. Completely different head sculpt and different forearms for his little claws or whatever it is. Everything else is the same. He does not come with a weapon, so there's no whip. And obviously his, I can't say body armor, but chest piece is different. This guy here comes with his championship belt and his LOD shoulder guard. So, I mean, honestly, let me tell you right now, this should not say LOP. It should say LOD for the Legion of Doom, because that's what he's wearing. And let me tell you, right now you have your tag team, and then you have your Luchadors to go with it. Where's my other one? Very nice. So then you have your Luchadors. And I know they make their own WWF, WWE Master of the Universe wrestling figures. Man, these guys, I mean, this guy looks like Luchadors. And then you got this guy, I mean, Hawk, Animal, whichever one you want him to be, but he does have his championship belt. It does come off. I'm not a big fan of this head sculpt. It doesn't look bad. It actually looks better in person, I'll be honest. But it's just not what I remember. But I do like the red. He's a completely different color, as you can see. You know, completely, I mean, he's orange, obviously. The red, but I bet if you put this on him, if you wanted to kind of change things around, it would probably fit pretty nicely. I think they've done a pretty good job with that. If you wanted to mix and match some of these figures, kind of do a good job. So, next one is Webster. Now, the only Webster I remember was the one that ran around talking to Mam and George Papadopoulos, and they're probably about the same height, to be honest. Again, if you're watching this, you probably know who I'm talking about. Anyway, this is Webster. I don't remember much of him. I don't think I can remember kind of playing with him maybe once or twice. I don't really remember too much of him. And there you have him fighting Buzz Off, who would be in the next wave. But we already have him, so we'll get to him probably tomorrow. Again, the artwork. Again, I really do like the artwork. And that's one of the reasons why I keep these. They're just nice to look at. So here is our Webster, and he has a grappling hook. Now, I do like the grappling hook. It's actually pretty cool, and I will demonstrate it in a minute. So he comes with his blaster. Again, as I said before, the Master Universe is kind of like the cross between like the scientific lasers and stuff like that, flying machines, and then barbaric stuff. You don't have anything that's really modern, I guess you could say. So, you take a look at him, you can see exactly, he's nice. Again, he's blue, obviously, but the cool thing about him is his grappling hook. And I'll scoot back here, and what is nice about this is however they did it, all you have to do is if you grapple the hook up to something, when you pull, he just goes up. So you're actually able to move him up and down. And if you want him here to be hanging, so if I wanted to put him here and get him to hang, on the back here, all you have to do is take the rope and tie it like this, and then he stays exactly where you want him, which is really nice. I got some G.I. Joe figures that don't work nearly as well as this, so I can't imagine this concept is that hard to do, but I really do like it. Again, he's cool. Put him on Castle Grayskull, and right up to the top. Of course, his gun's always going to fall out. It's like the second time it's done it. But you want him to go up, and you look in the window. Hopefully the sorcerer isn't changing. That'd be kind of embarrassing for her. Anyway, there is our Webster. Over here. And then the last one, we all remember this guy, Stinkor. Now, anyone that remembers back from when we were children, he stank. He was the smell of patchouli like you wouldn't believe. And a matter of fact, when I was in high school, there was a friend of mine that actually made some comment about one of these goth girls that kind of hung around with us. And he's like, man, she smells like Stinkor. That was the way I found out that Stinkor was actually smell like patchouli, which I don't believe this one is, but he does kind of stink. So anyway, here is your Stinkor, front of it, and then here is your back of your art, and he's fighting Mossman, which, do we have a Mossman yet? I don't know. I don't believe so, or else I would have seen him. Anyway, so there he is, and I absolutely love the way he looks. The black accents, he obviously looks like a skunk, and he does smell. Not as bad as before. But he smells. I actually brought my daughter in. I was like, smell this, and she's like, oh, that is awful. She said it smells like raisins now. I don't know what raisins she's been eating, but I think I need to throw him away. He does come with his shield, which, again, I don't remember what he came with, but it is the same shield as the Eternian guards have, just painted different. So, Masters of the Universe, I think, are the masters of reusing weapons, using armor. So if you look at this armor, you can probably bet Mechaneck is coming, because this is pretty much what he had, which that would be awesome. But here's your Stinkor. I gotta say, I love the way he looks. I hate when my dog gets sprayed by him. I have skunks in the back, and he got sprayed like 3 or 4 times this summer, and it's aggravating. They smell way worse than this guy. So anyway, here's your Stinkor. Again, I really haven't gone over how they move and everything, because one He-Man, one Master of the Universe, they articulate like every one of them. But it is kind of weird he only comes with a shield, but I'm guessing that's what the original had. I never had him. I do remember him. He's one that was hard to forget. So, there's your Stinkor. Again, I love the black and the white. I think he looks really nice. And then the other thing I guess I forgot to mention was the comics. So, here's the comics. This is the comic that all 4 of them come with. And on the back, you have what we used to see, again, whatever the wave was. So you have, say, the He-Man and Skeletor, because those are your common figures. And then you're going to have your Beastman, Webster, Eternian Goddess, and Stinkor. And it goes through, and I really do like the artwork. I love these little comics. They really tell a nice little story. But again, you see Webster. I'm actually kind of odd. I don't remember him so much, but he really talks back to Skeletor in this, which I found kind of odd. But anyway, nice little comic. I love the comics. But there it is. That is your Wave 6 of Masters of the Universe. I have not seen it at the stores. I have seen it in a couple of toy stores, some like local shops, but I have not seen it in Target or Walmart. Matter of fact, I'm not seeing much at Walmart at all anymore, other than the Masterverse stuff and the animated Masters of the Universe. They really stopped carrying this. I did see a couple of the Black Panthers last week, so that was kind of odd, because it's the Walmart exclusive. But if you notice, Walmart, at least in Michigan here, I haven't seen any. They've just completely dwindled away. They've had some of the Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Armor Skeletor, but that's all they've had. So anyway, these are your figures. To Stinkor one last time. The Eternian Goddess. Your Road Warrior Beastman. And then your last, but certainly not least, your Webster. Right. Webster was a little guy. Webster is guy with a grappling hook. Which one did Webster ever play with? Webster. I think the kid was like 35 when he was playing, a little 5-year-old. Man, I'm rambling on. See, once again, I start rambling on, especially about Webster and Mam and George Papadopoulos. Next thing you know, I'm going to be asking, what you talking about, Willis? Anyway, it's time for me to go. Quick review, quick look at Wave 6 Master of the Universe Origins. I look forward to getting 7 done probably tomorrow or the next day. Probably tomorrow, because I also have this guy here to get through, which I have seen him at a bunch of stores. So Mosquito is not going to be that hard to find, though he is gone when I go back to the store. But I've seen a bunch of them, and I don't remember anything about him, but I'm going to take a look at him, do a review on him by the end of the weekend. So anyway, I'm getting out of here. Again, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Like the channel. Again, I enjoy doing the reviews. I like showing you guys the different stuff and things you want to, want me to go over more. Please feel free to mention in the comments. If you think there's things that I can do better, constructive criticism is always welcome. But anyway, I'm getting out of here. A Punk with Toys on Instagram, and happy hunting.